Welcome to Quiz Bang Bang, the pub quiz practice show that hits you, pal, right in the quizzer. Al, my quizzer. I'm David Flora.
I'm Annie Flora, and we're here to help level you up in your trivia quest and make sure that you roll a natural 20 instead of a 1.
By the way, please send us some money on Patreon and coffee and the donate button for a new project called Trivia Quest, an RPG where you just answer trivia questions. But you could be a barbarian or a mage or fighter.
And all your answers are in
rogue.
Demonic. That's a language, right?
All your answers are in demonic. Hooked on demonics. Annie.
Yeah?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. What did you learn this week? Anything?
Yeah, I just watched the Stephen Fry video. And if you don't know this, Stephen Fry did the voices for the Harry Potter audiobook. And I guess when he was doing the third or fourth book, he came across the phrase, Harry pocketed it, and he couldn't get it out correctly. He kept being like, pocketed it. And so I guess he called up J.K. Rowling and was like, can we say Harry put it in his pocket? And she was like, no. And then he goes, and then in every book afterwards, that sentence is in the book.
Is it really?
Well, then I looked it up, and then J.K. Rowling's like, it's a great story. It's not true.
Oh.
So anyway, I learned that Stephen Fry's a liar.
The moral of the story, Stephen Fry, you liar.
Yeah, he does a great job with audiobooks. I haven't listened to his Harry Potter, but I have listened to his Sherlock Holmes. He's delightful.
Apparently he does a good job in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Happy Tal Day for everyone who celebrated.
That's right. Just recently. Well, I've got my towel, so I'm ready to go. How about that segue, Annie?
Perfect.
Okay. How about we get the lowdown on how this is going to work? Quiz Bang Bang is comprised of 4 rounds of 4 questions each, followed by the answers. After round 2, we'll ask a quick-fire bang bang question, where you'll have a time limit to give multiple answers. After the 4th round, the show culminates with the Big Bang, a final round with 3 questions whose answers are all clues to one final question. That's how it's going to work. Round 1, question 1. The category is art. What is the Mona Lisa painted on? Question 2, the category is pop culture. Don't get burned by this subject, but what retail chain specializes in music and pop culture inspired fashion? Question 3, category is history. What type of natural disaster took place in 1556 in Shanxi, China, the deadliest of its kind in recorded history? Question 4, category sports. What is the most common team nickname in college sports in the U.S.? A team nickname, for example, would be the Wolverines. And now the answers to round 1. Question 1, what is the Mona Lisa painted on? Wood. The Mona Lisa is oil on wood and is 77 by 53 centimeters, or 30 by 20 7/8 inches. So not very big, Annie. Question 2. Don't get burned by this subject, but what retail chain specializes in music and pop culture inspired fashion? Hot Topic. Question 3. What type of natural disaster took place in 1556 in Shanxi, China, the deadliest of its kind in recorded history? An earthquake, which killed nearly 830,000 people. Question 4. What's the most common team nickname in U.S. college sports? As of this recording, 76 teams have the Eagles as their nickname. The next most common nickname being the Tigers with 46, and coming in third is Bulldogs with 40.
Round 2. Question 5. Category: literature. Who wrote Other Voices, Other Rooms, and In Cold Blood? Question 6. Category, music. A big thanks to Ray for submitting this question.
Thanks, Ray.
Besides the title and final 2 verses, what 1960s pop song's lyrics are taken almost word for word from the beginning of the 3rd chapter of the biblical book of Ecclesiastes? Question 7. Category, politics. Which country was the first to grant all women the right to vote? Question 8. Category, math. What term describes 2 or more lines that never intersect? And now the answers for round 2. Question 5. Who wrote Other Voices, Other Rooms, and In Cold Blood? Truman Capote. Question 6. Ray's excellent question. What 1960s pop song has lyrics from the book of Ecclesiastes? Turn, turn, turn. To everything there is a season by the Byrds. Question 7. Which country was the first to grant women the right to vote? New Zealand in 1893. Question 8. What term describes 2 or more lines that never intersect? Parallel.
That's the halfway point, which means it's time for the Bang Bang round. Look out, it's going to get you. The category for this week's Bang Bang round is history. I'll give you 30 seconds to answer the following question. Sherpa Tenzing Norgay and Sir Edmund Hillary planted 4 flags at the top of Mount Everest on their historic climb. What countries and/or organizations did those flags represent? Your 30 seconds starts now.
And that's time! What were the first 4 flags planted at the top of Mount Everest? And here's your answer. The flags of Great Britain, Nepal, India, and the United Nations.
Round 3, question 9. The category is history. In 1909, Alice Ramsey became the first woman to accomplish what feat in a car? Question 10. Category is science. What is the study of plant fossils called? Question 11. The category is religion. Who is the most mentioned woman in the Bible? Question 12, category television. On the TV show Cheers, what object does bar owner Sam Malone keep to remind him not to drink? And now the answers for round 3, question 9. Alice Ramsey was the first woman to accomplish what feat in a car? She was the first woman to drive coast to coast in the United States. At the time, there were only 152 miles of paved road of the 3,600-mile trip she took. Question 10. What is the study of plant fossils? Paleobotany. Question 11. The most mentioned woman in the Bible is Sarah, Abraham's wife, who is mentioned 60 times if you include a couple of spelling variations. Question 12. On Cheers, what object does bar owner Sam Malone keep to remind him not to drink? A bottle cap from the last beer that he drank.
Round 4. Question 13. Category: music. Which 20th century American composer wrote the music for the ballet Appalachian Spring? Question 14. Category: mythology. In Egyptian mythology, what goddess of protection, pleasure, and cats is commonly depicted with the head of a cat in a body of a woman? Question 15. Category: urban legend. What Indian city was terrorized by a mysterious 4-foot hairy monster with metal claws dubbed the Monkey Man in 2001? Question 16. Category: space. What is the term for a giant cloud of dust and gas in space? And now the answers for round 4. Question 13. Which 20th century American composer wrote the music for the ballet Appalachian Spring? Aaron Copland. Question 14. In Egyptian mythology, what goddess of protection, pleasure, and cats is commonly depicted with the head of a cat and a body of a woman? Bast. We'll also accept Bastet. Question 15. What Indian city was terrorized by a mysterious 4-foot hairy monster with metal claws dubbed the Monkey Man in 2001? New Delhi. Question 16. What is the term for a giant cloud of dust and gas in space? Nebula. That's it for our regular rounds, which now brings us to the Big Bang round. For the Big Bang round, you will get 3 clue questions, which will all be hints for the final question. The category is geography. Remember that the clue questions may not be part of this category.
Question 1. What Russian-American writer's first bestseller was based in part on the maxim, "Man's ego is the fountainhead of human progress"?
Question 2. On what objects might you find a cartouche, compass rose, and linear scale?
Question 3. In Greek mythology, what race of deities succeeded the primordial deities and preceded the Olympian deities?
And your Big Bang question. Separating the Atlantic and Mediterranean coastlines from the Sahara Desert, what African mountain range runs through the countries of Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia?
And now the answers. Question 1. What Russian-American writer's first bestseller was based in part on the maxim, "Man's ego is the fountainhead of human progress"? That would be Ayn Rand.
Question 2. On what objects might you find a cartouche, compass rose, and linear scale? That would be maps.
Question 3. In Greek mythology, what race of deities succeeded the primordial deities and preceded the Olympian deities? The Titans.
And your Big Bang question. Separating the Atlantic and Mediterranean coastlines from the Sahara Desert, what African mountain range runs through the countries of Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia? Sharing a name with the bound book of maps, the Titan that holds up the sky, and Ayn Rand's most famous novel that's not the Fountainhead, the answer is the Atlas Mountains.
And that's it. Annie.
David!
Did you know that I turned 22 in the Atlas Mountains?
Really?
I did.
I didn't know that. I don't know you at all.
Who are you?
That's exciting.
It wasn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
It was pretty boring. It was a pretty boring birthday.
hey, David.
Hey.
Speaking of numbers, did you know that we're only 10 Instagram followers away from hitting 100?
Oh, the solid Hildo. Get in there and follow us, everybody. Help us get to that Hildo.
Please do, please. And we're almost to 150 on Facebook.
Oh man, $1.50.
And we're 2 away for 20 on Twitter.
Twitter.
Twitter, man. You guys, we want to thank all of our great followers on social media, and we want to give a special extra shout out to Ray, our first patron on Patreon.
Hey.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you, Ray. Submitting questions and buying us coffees and supporting on Patreon. You're a super fan, Ray. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
We haven't properly set up our Patreon to have all the levels and stuff that we, are going to eventually set it up as, but Patreon is a subscription-based platform where you can support us monetarily by donating to us and getting stuff in return. Once we get the levels completely set up, there's going to be some fun stuff on there that we offer back to you for your support. It is set up enough to where you can donate, so if you're feeling froggy, go for it. We also got a donate button on the website.
And the coffee button
and a coffee button, ko-fi/quizbangpod.
Yeah.
That'll help us get some fuel in our bones. Nice coffee fuel.
My bones are running on empty.
So check that out. That's all on quizbangpod.com.
Yeah, and leave us a 5-star review, and write us a nice review.
I tell you, we found out today how difficult it really is to do that on a mobile device, at least for Apple Podcasts or iTunes or whatever. If you go into the Apple Podcasts app, you literally have to search for Quiz Bang Bang, and then when all of our episodes pop up, you have to scroll to the bottom and click more and keep scrolling, and then finally at the very bottom there's a click to review, click to rate thing. So that's where you find it's so incredibly easy. they really do a disservice to us.
Yeah.
By hiding it like that. It's not easy at all.
Yeah. Well, hopefully then only motivated nice people are looking for it.
I think it's easier on a desktop, but that's how you do it on mobile anyway.
Guys, you're so great.
You guys are great.
We're so grateful.
Thanks for listening. I've been David Flora.
And I've been Annie Flora.
Here's looking at you, Quiz.